Okay, there is a bad news that the previous recording, previous session recording was, it was not on and it wasn't recorded. Can you people see that it's recorded? If I ever forget
Yes,
to
ma'am, we
start,
can.
if I ever, I recorded it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Previous one, no, previous
yes,
one was
ma'am.
not recorded. So if I ever forget to record, please, let me know that it's not recorded. Okay. Now this is okay. We were talking about age graded features of speech. Now, we were talking about that, even in this, there's this example that, someone was listening to Minister of Health, and by the time the person completed the speech or the interview, the person wanted to know who the the person who was the interviewee, and the interviewer announced that the person was the Minister of Health, Helen Clark. And then the interviewer said, I mean, the person said that, okay, this explains that how, sympathetic attitude the person had got for the women's health issue. So we see that your not only your age, but other features, that is who you are, what is your job, that also determines the way you communicate. And you might have seen that females normally communicate more positively regarding females, and males are always negative about females. This is, very common, that in males topics you'll never see that they have ever said anything good about females. But um, but with when it comes to females, they have some positive views about males as well. So when it comes to age, you're very, when there is a phone, when the phone rings and you actually pick it up, who's on the other side. The way they communicate, the way they by the pitch of their voice, because you see that at the it's identifiable that a boy is speaking or a girl is speaking, or maybe or maybe if it's like a 6-year old, a 10-year old around, or maybe a grown up, it is, you can identify it, right? There are certain features which are related to language, I mean, which are related to age, and you can identify it. When a child is communicating, you know that a child is communicating, and when a grown up is communicating, you know that a grown up is communicating. So these are the factors which are related to, to age patterns. And when it comes to age patterns, there's this one thing which is very common, and that is that uh, teenagers, their language is more informal. Their language would have more patterns of swear words, more patterns of slang language, and as compared to the language when it comes to as compared to the, the language when we talk about elders. And if you compare the same age group people, and you for example, among teenagers, you'd see that among teenagers, females language is more standard and is not that slang as compared to the males language. So when it comes to females, even in the same age group, females would communicate in more formal language compared to males. Now I would give you example of a classroom. And for example, if I'm teaching to class, let's suppose class 6, class 7, and I have both males and females in the classroom, you'd see that the communication or the language of females is more formal compared to the communication or language of the boys. And it might be different when you compare the same class with that of, let's suppose, first year, second year, or maybe go ahead of that. You'd see that in teenage, in, for example, FSC and second year, the boys are way more outspoken, and as compared to females, and as compared to the other age groups as well. When it comes to university level, where they are, in their 20s, then I believe that there is this change occurring, and they, when they are growing older, their language become more standard compared to what the slang language that they were using before, right? Why? Because every age group has its own way of communication, and in order to show their membership in that age group, they try to use that language. Now, you I mean, I don't know about boys, but girls might be watching different dramas, and they see that there are certain characters in the dramas, grown up girls, but they are shown as goof. I mean, someone who's not intelligent. And in order to show that they are not intelligent, they make them wear glasses, which is a non-verbal with non-verbal communication. But when it comes to communication, even their language sounds like, they are talking like kids. So the features which are associated with age is and the way you speak is linked as a membership of a specific age group, that you can very easily guess that it is the teenagers, or maybe the kids, or maybe grown-ups. And based on that, you can gauge that they are using formal form of the language, informal form of the language, and there are standards for each age group. Are you clear? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Social dialect, um, it is exactly the same as we have already discussed previously, but it is not but it is associated with patterns of pronunciation and grammar, and discourse patterns that we normally use at different age groups. And not just between boys and the girls, but also in different uh, uh, in different age groups as well. Not just the difference of boys and girls, not just the gender difference, but the age difference as well. So we see that where the boys and girls are using less standard form of the language, we see where they are using more standard form of the language. We see that teenagers are mostly using a vernacular form of the language, where they are using where they are not adding ing to the word. They use multiple negation. I ain't do nothing. This is multiple negation. So this is a vernacular form of the language. I don't know if it's written here or not. No, the example is not written here, but this is the example of multiple negation. I ain't do nothing. So they use multiple negations as well. And this is where we see that it's the vernacular form of the language. Okay, we can see that it is that is mostly the part of the age group where they are younger generations, that is young sorry young in young age, that is in teenagers, or in their 12 years to around say 16, 17. This is the age in which they are using mostly very vernacular and slang form of the language as well. Though the vernacular form remained the same throughout their age, but the slang may change, the way they use the language, or the way they are using swear words, that may change with the passage of time. Due to the social pressure, it may change, because when you grow up, everyone is telling you that you're grown up, and now such kind of language should not be used, even to the males as well. So there are factors which would reduce the use of slang language or the vernacular language. However, we cannot say that a vernacular form would completely vanish, as we have studied before. Okay. This is a study that you can have a look at it. They have the way multiple negation is used in different age groups, and you can see that where the where the vernacular form is used in which group it's mostly used, and it's decrease from one form to the other form. Means there is a decrease, but there is no, you cannot say that it's completely vanished from the group. No, it's not. Vernacular form is not completely vanished from the group, but you can see that there is a decrease in the use of vernacular form with the passage of time, and it is due to the maybe due to the social pressure uh, which is um, which is faced by the people, that this should, you're now grown up and it should not be done like that. Okay, that's it. We are done with this chapter. I hope you understood everything. If there is any confusion, please you may ask. Though we were supposed to discuss different theories regarding or frameworks regarding this gender and language, but inshallah, I'm going to discuss it in the coming class. Are you clear? Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It's very clear.
Okay, good. Any question?
No, ma'am. It's very
Okay.
clear.
Okay, I'll try to send an audio, record an audio, because obviously the mid lecture was not recorded, and the ones who have not taken the class would have difficulty. So I'll just summarize it in 6 to 7 minutes, an audio, and I'll send it to you in the group, right? For the ones who did not take the class, for those,
All right, ma'am. Okay,
right?
ma'am.
Okay. I know that it won't be a substitution for the lecture, but at least it would help. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day, and Allah Hafiz.
Same here, ma'am. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah